with Bash Bros movies, and if you're here, you're probably wondering what was Valerian City of a Thousand Planets like, and we're here to tell you it was a pretty solid movie. Don't trust everything you read online, don't trust everything you watch online or hear online. You can always trust us to give you an objective opinion unless we say otherwise. I had no expectations for Valerian City of a Thousand Planets other than what the first trailer told me, that it's based on a graphic novel that is directed by Luc Besson, who directed Fifth Element, which was one of the first things that I noticed about Valerian when I saw this looks like Fifth Element, and then of course the inscription pops up, says from the director of Fifth Element, so there you go. This movie has issues that have nothing to do with the movie itself, as far as the plot goes, as far as the effects goes, as far as the acting goes. It's all, I'm not gonna say perfect, but it's like top notch, most definitely.
Yeah.
The problems with this movie start right then and there when it says that it's based off a graphic novel that was released, I have no idea how many years ago, but many years ago. And as John Schnepp once said, everything in sci-fi sucked off the tit of Valerian and City of a Thousand Planets graphic novel. That movie based on it will probably not live up to some expectations and will leave some people underwhelmed, so to speak. What's the problem surrounding Valerian? Well, first, the graphic novel. Everything from Star Wars to Star Trek to Fifth Element to the Battlestar Galactica and who knows what else took inspiration from the graphic novel. So I have no idea why now Luc Besson wanted to do a movie based off it. Maybe he wanted to do this before Fifth Element, before he decided to do Fifth Element. I don't know, but who knows what the movie rights were like. And basically the state of comic book movies in the 90s, well, if you look at the list of comic book movies released in the 90s, I don't have to tell you anything. So making a movie back then was, I mean, and then consider the technology. I mean, seriously, like this movie, I mean, Fifth Element was done pretty well. I mean, I'm sure, I haven't seen it in a few years now, but I'm sure it still holds up even technologically.
It does.
And I mean, this movie, you probably wouldn't need much technology even back then. I think justice could be done to this movie. I think it
could have been done same way he did Fifth Element. He could have done Valerian, but like you said, a lot of sci-fi stuff that has been done
over the years.
Over the years, they took a certain amount of inspiration from Valerian.
The graphic novel. So
there's certain things, themes in this movie you will see, and you're like, okay, this is from. Technically, it's not from there. There took it from here.
Yeah.
So and it's just put together, but so it might be, I don't know.
And the biggest obstacle to this movie, had this movie not been made, the movie I'm about to say, the Valerian, the City of Thousand Planets might have a bigger impact in today's world than it would have. But we got Avatar in 2009, which was technologically probably much more superb movie, considering it was shot for 3D, where this probably wasn't necessarily. And so story-wise, Valerian is a much better movie than Avatar will ever be, but we'll talk about Avatar at some point or another. Anyways, listen, Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets has a pretty good story, pretty cool characters. It's well developed. Character development is top notch. I mean, we compared it to other movies already, so in that regard, there isn't much, we can compare it like on and off for like hours, days, years, whatever. But on its own, when you look at it by itself from beginning to the ending, it stands on its own on both feet pretty tall. I think we can agree on that.
Definitely. It is probably, yeah.
I mean, we can
by itself, listen, if you start comparing to other stuff,
we can go by what ifs.
You
and we already have to a certain degree. But I think this movie would have been a masterpiece had not so many other movies, TV shows, what have you, drawn inspiration from the graphic novel that obviously influenced a lot of people over the years. I've never read the graphic novel.
And the biggest thing you will see is everybody else is going to be comparing it to other stuff.
Which isn't right. I mean,
And
you
they're
can
gonna
do
be
that,
bringing
but
up-
it's not right.
Yeah, and they're gonna end up bringing up the budget and everything else. And the thing is, if the movie doesn't end up making money, it's gonna suck. It's
Not this one. Not this one. I
It's a
think
good movie. It's a great movie. I'd go that far to say it's a great movie. It does hold up, story-wise, plot-wise.
action-wise, I mean,
It's there.
serious. Everything you
As
want.
far as if you're an SF lover, you can actually go and see this movie.
And enjoy it.
Exactly.
Go ahead and rate it.
23.
23. I'm giving it a 22 out of 30, which is a pretty solid flick. I mean, listen, other elements went into rating this movie that we already discussed. Avatar, Fifth Element, all that stuff. Simply because, unfortunately,
They got made
before this one got made,
Valerian.
and they already drew inspiration from the graphic novel. So, unfortunately, that influences the rating. But otherwise, this
Pretty
is a pretty
solid
solid movie. Yeah.
That's
If
it
you
from
haven't
us.
seen it or are still, I don't know, you're
You'll
still
see
thinking
it.
about it, just go and
There's
watch it.
stuff coming out in August. There's still a few of them left from July, but
Yeah. And if
it's
you
definitely worth the buck.
definitely, we saw it in 3D. I think this would be pretty watchable in 2D, maybe even more watchable. But
Yeah,
that's it for
go watch it.
from us for today. Maybe even this week. We'll see you next time. Till next time, Bears Bros out.